Hello everyone, welcome back to Mindful and Mellow. So today we're going to do an intuitive tarot reading. We're going to start off with a card from the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle deck. So these are the Oracle cards that we'll use. Next, we're going to move into the Robin Wood Tarot deck. We're going to pull some cards. I've already kind of pulled some, and the reason I've done this is I started recording the reading, and then I actually pulled over the Lover's card, which, as we all know, has some perceived nudity on it. So I wasn't fast enough with my Splenda packet to cover up that perceived nudity. So I have to re-record this. I didn't want to change the reading or start afresh because I do think there's a lot of important things here. So the first thing that we pulled from the Oracle card was staying present. Stay present and flexible. Many changes are going on for you and around you. These changes are not only good, but they are necessary. Bring awareness into the now rather than focusing on the past or the future. So question was, what do we need to know about that? And these are the cards that I pulled. I first pulled the 10 of Pentacles, followed by the 5 of Pentacles, followed by the Moon card. The next question, or the next, Oracle card that we pulled was change directions with ease. This is a time for change. Shape-lifting your soul's evolution. It's time to reconsider what you were wanting. You may be in for a surprise. So the question of the tarot was, tell us more about that. We got the Queen of Cups. We had the 6 of Pentacles. And we had the Queen of Wands, so 2 queens. Lastly, we had this distinctive potential. Rely on your faith and knowledge, but nothing is impossible. Use your determination to hang in there until you realize a goal. So the question was, what do we need to know about that, this distinctive potential? So the first one was the Hermit card. Second one was the 6 of Wands. And then lastly, as I mentioned, was this one, the Lovers. But the Lovers has perceived nudity in the illustration, so I had to stop the recording. And I probably could have edited it, but frankly, I was like, let me just kind of start over and just go from there. So we're going to cover this up with the Splenda packet, because what happens is when you upload something that has this perceived nudity in it, the screening mechanisms that they use in Twitter, probably not Twitter, but YouTube and TikTok, they do screen for potential nudity. So anyway, with respect to enjoying the journey, staying present, what do I get from this? Staying present in the moment. I mean, to me, this is kind of like the fundamental concept of Neville Goddard's, which is like living in the end, right? So the 10 of Pentacles is living in that final state of being financially abundant, having everything that you desire. So this could be consciously thinking about, think about like, what does it truly mean to you to have like what you desire? What do you desire first? You need to be very crystal clear on that. We know that from the law of attraction, don't we? So, be very crystal clear on what it is exactly that you want, and then think about like, well, how do I feel when I have it? What do I live my life like? What does my average day look like? And kind of visualize that. Maybe when you're going to sleep or whatever. Like the more we envision that and impress it in our mind, the more we're likely to kind of see that come to fruition. Okay, so that to me is, this is a very positive change that's coming, but this is kind of reaching the finish line, kind of getting to that end state. So maybe you're close, maybe you're working towards something. You need to visualize consistently. How does it feel? Okay. The Moon card is a little bit about like, kind of like, there's something beneath the surface you're not seeing. So you might be having some resistance. That's kind of what I'm getting, particularly when I go with this, right? You might say, I want financial independence. I want to be financially free. I want to win the lottery, whatever. But if you're feeling broke and insecure and not having enough, then, that's not really the best place to be. And you're going to kind of be stuck into this rut. Okay. And you might not be seeing that. The Moon card is kind of like these ripples, right? So this vibration is representing this water here. But here we have these animals. Looks like a dog, maybe a wolf or some sort of other wild animal kind of barking up at the moon. So it's kind of like there's something beneath the surface that's kind of got our attention, or that we may not be particularly aware of and paying that much attention to, but it's influencing what's going around you, okay? So living in the now is also means like, it's also about using the fundamental laws of attraction. In doing that, you need to kind of focus on the end state. So you can't be proclaiming yourself as being rich, abundant, desiring large sums of money, desiring to be profitable in trading and investing and working or whatever, if you don't feel that way. So you need to find a way to kind of think about the prosperity that's in your life and just visualize that, and don't visualize your bank account with like $100 in it. Visualize your bank account with like large sums of money in it, okay? So it's a little bit of everything there. So this is time for change, shapelifting your soul's evolution. It's time to reconsider what you were wanting, okay? So the queen, we get two queens in this one, okay? The two queens. What are you wanting? But the Queen of Wands, I mean, she's a passionate person. So it's like, well, what are you really passionate about? The Queen of Cups, I mean, she is very passionate. She's very outspoken. So, you know, how do you express yourself? Like, where are you? Like, what is your emotional state? Okay. You know, when we think about, you know, your soul's evolution, it's time to reconsider what you're wanting. You may be in for a surprise, okay? So this is somebody who is in clear, you know, you need to be in control of your emotions, all right? So like if you're flying off the handle all the time, or you find yourself being kind of volatile and like one minute you're really happy, but then something around you happens and it kind of like brings you back down. You know, you need to be a little bit more in control over your emotions and less aware of everything that's going on around you that may or may not align with like truly what you want to be, do, and have, all right? Because I'm kind of getting that with somebody here, you know, but be very aware of like what you're wanting and where you're spending your time, okay? So the six of Pentacles is, you know, you are a product of the people that you're around, right? So part of this card traditionally is about, you know, providing or sharing your generosity through generosity and other things, and kind of, you know, basically he's kind of handing coins out. So this could be someone providing you with a generous, you know, outreach, or but it could also just be, you know, be cautious of where you're spending your time is what I'm getting here. Because I do feel like somebody does represent like the queen's energy. Now, if you're male, you're probably like, well, I'm not a queen, or I'm not a female. But at the end of the day, it's more about like that softer but passionate energy, the passionate energy that really have something that you truly follow and really believe in. And you know, I think this is kind of getting clear on what you want, right? It's like basically, you know, if you say you want something, you need to be, what are you passionate about, okay? And if you're not really feeling passionate about it, maybe you don't really want it that badly. And ask yourself, why do you want it? I'm kind of getting somebody who wants something, but you're not really passionate about it, so you might not even really want it. You might come to the realization that you want something because somebody else has it, okay? And that's not a good reason. So with respect to relying on your faith and knowledge that nothing is impossible, use your determination to hang in there until you realize the goal. The six of Wands is a reminder that when you achieve this goal, or whatever this is, there's going to be some good recognition. So whether it's self-recognition, which is very important, or other recognition, like you're working towards something, and this is going to be like, this will achieve a great deal of admiration from others, okay? It might not be something that you are aware of. You might be underestimating or not even considering something. But you know, if you've been kind of like hunkered down and going within, you've been kind of like shining this light, looking for something that you've been quietly working on, but it hasn't really been aired or hasn't gotten the light of day. Is kind of what I'm getting. It may be time to kind of introduce something to the world, introduce something to like your friends or family, or kind of get something out there. So if you've been working on something, but you haven't allowed it to, you haven't published that article, you haven't written that blog post, you haven't posted that video, you haven't advertised that particular business or that service or whatever it is, this is telling me it's like it's time to shine some light onto that, because people are going to respond very positively to this, okay? So, you know, you might realize that like what you're doing isn't perfect, but it's moving in the right direction, and it's certainly something to be very excited and proud of. You know, the Lovers card, the Lovers is a, you know, the card of Gemini, but it's also a great match, okay? So this may be something that really kind of brings you great excitement and, you know, satisfaction, but it could also be like something you're working on with somebody, or bring you in connection with somebody who could be very important to your growth, development, and or your life. This could be, you know, it could be a potential lover coming in. But sometimes like when we move into the direction of doing something we're really passionate about, like it helps us, you know, find and connect with other people, because people radiate, you know, that the energy in which they're in. And so people will pick up on that. Have you ever gone out on a date with somebody or met somebody and you think, wow, they have really low energy, and you know, they just seem kind of boring or dull or negative or whatever. That happens all the time. Okay, so let's use the Morgan Greer Tarot deck just to pull two more thematic cards, and same thing, I will you know, pull cover any perceived nudity with the my sophisticated Splenda packet. So let me just shuffle up here. Cut the deck. Okay, So the Four of Cups, the Four of Cups, again, something you may not be seeing, coming back to the whole concept of the moon, but there might be some sort of an offer or an opportunity out there. You just need to open your eyes and be able to see it. So be here in the now, okay? And the Seven of Cups, so Seven of Cups. So I'm definitely getting like an option. There's definitely options available to you. You might also, but this also kind of comes back to what I was saying with the Hermit card, okay? It's kind of, you're ready, but you're not taking the leap. You're kind of like weighing it, you're looking at it, you're thinking about something. I don't know what that might be for you. There could be a business. It could just be starting, joining a new club, getting out there, searching for a new job, whatever that is. Like, you've been kind of thinking about it and dreaming about it, but you're not really doing anything about it. You're not taking the inspired action that moves you in the right direction. And you can do that by continuing to think about, if you know what you want with the Queen of Wands, and you know what you're passionate about and how you feel about it, what does it truly feel like to have it? Okay, and then you can start thinking and visualizing from that point of view, and then we can kind of come back to this whole concept with the Seven and the Four of Cups, which is taking that inspired action, kind of seeing that opportunity, seeing something that's right in front of you that you may not be thinking about or responding to, and actually taking that action instead of just thinking about it. So. Anyway, I thank you for being here. I apologize for the issue with the first reading, kind of pulling all these cards. I just didn't want to start with completely fresh, because I do feel like when I pull cards, they do have meaning, and I don't necessarily want to lose that. So with that, I thank you for being here, and I'll be back again real soon.